for Flores. Just what he can do, just what he can do with a team, just how he can build his team. And you got Tom Brady working with him, building a championship players and coaches around him. Damn, bro. That's a lot of money to work with, homie. You can bring in some major pieces. The Raiders can bring in some major pieces with that amount of money. Key figures and projections early of January 2026, around 110 million. Some reports placed them second in the NFL with approximately 110 mil in available cap space after accounting for current players and projected needs. Around 90 to 95 million. Other projections have them slightly lower, but still in the top three with around 90 to 95 million. How the hell they get all that dough, bro? Heavy. Damn, bro. Why so much space? Clean cap sheet. The Raiders have a very manageable salary cap situation with a few long-term commitments, giving them significant maneuverability. Potential cuts, releasing players like QB Geno Smith if they move on. And guard/center Alex Kappa could add another 10 to 20 mil in space, pushing them even higher. Damn, dog. The Raiders got room to wiggle, room to work. You know? As far as who they are as a team, I don't think it's the best situation as far as their roster, but you bring the money into it, and the money they got to go towards their roster and build players. And they finna draft Mendoza probably if he pans out. Damn, bro. A very enticing job. No cap. Shout out SKOL State of Mind for dropping them facts, man. You hear me? Heavy. What it means for the Raiders. How flexibility. They can pursue top-tier free agents, facts, or make big trades without major restrictions. Focus on QB and O-line. Expect them to address the quarterback position potentially with the number 1 pick and revamp their struggling O-line. Yeah, bro. Heavy. And as you know, Flores definitely got ties, man. Flores definitely got ties to the Raiders and Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's a winner, bro. Tom Brady is a winner. Man, let's get into it, bro. Let's get back to this article. Give me 1 second. And will be flow leave, will be flow leave. You hear me? Heavy. What we got here, sir? What we got going on here, Sergio? Sergio in the building. The Denver Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl. Man, you keep spamming that every live, homeboy. You hear me? You spammed the live last night, my boy. You hear me? Are you a Broncos fan, man? I repeat, are you a Broncos fan, man? Damn. Shout out Sergio in the building, man. Let's get it, man. Give me 1 second, bro. see where we at with it, man. Get back to this right quick, man. If you in the chat, like it up. I repeat, if you in the chat, like it up. Let's see. See where I left off here. Flores leads one of the league's most improved defenses. In his second season running Minnesota's defense, Brian Flores has established a system built on speed, discipline, and consistency. The Vikings ranked among top 3 in yards allowed, giving up 282.6 per game, and finished 7th in points allowed at 19.6 per contest. The unit also forced 13 fumbles, the most in the league, a reflection of the pressure Flores structure created across all levels. Players have credited Flores' detailed preparation and accountability for the transformation. He has emphasized communication and situational awareness, focusing on execution rather than adjustments by instinct. That approach has not only reshaped the defense, but also restored his reputation around the league after previous head coaching experience in Miami. Coaching carousel tests staff cohesion. And we know it's about cohesion, bro. It's about chemistry, sticking together, building those real relationships, right? Right. As the offseason begins, Flores has drawn interest from multiple head coaching opportunities, including the Baltimore Ravens vacancy, defensive pass game coordinator, and defensive backs coach Durante Jones is also a target, with the New York Jets and Dallas Cowboys requesting interviews for their open defensive coordinator positions. So you have to assume, dog, the domino effect will be Durante Jones leaving with Flores, right, if he were to leave. So it's a situation where it's not only Flores leaving, man, if he does leave. And like SKOL State of Mind said, we all know, like, he wants to be a head coach. That's the ultimate goal. But the situation has to make sense. You hear me? Heavy. But Durante Jones, he put his hands, he had his hands in the DB room as well. You know, and we all know it was a lack of talent back there. And they even had them performing at a high level, especially late in the season. Let's see, man. With the New York Jets and Dallas Cowboys requesting interviews for their open defensive coordinator positions. Jones has been part of the Viking staff since 2020, returning to Minnesota after a season at LSU in 21. His work developing the secondary and coordinating the pass defense has made him a respected figure within coaching circles. Under his guidance, Minnesota's defensive backs played with improved timing and ball discipline, contributing to one of the NFL's most efficient third down units. Jones' teaching style emphasizes speed and decisiveness. It's about players trusting what we teach and playing fast without hesitation, he said late in the season. That simplicity has resonated with players and aligns closely with Flores' system first principles. Now, this is the main question, like the article said. Is confidence inside the building that Flores will remain, that Durante Jones will remain? Now, it could be cap, it could be just to sound good and give the fans a little bit of hope, but it could be real deal, no Holyfield. Shout out respect to Holyfield, right? He is a boxing legend. Let's get to it. Despite external interests, there is a strong belief within the organization that Flores will remain with the team if he is not hired as a head coach. Leadership understands his value and is prepared to reinforce that commitment. The franchise's ownership is determined to keep the defensive identity stable and views Flores as central to that goal. We all know if Flores leaves, the defense will not be the same. The same level of regard extends to Jones, who is seen internally as one of the most effective assistants on Kevin O'Connell's staff. His ability to connect with players and communicate adjustments during games has been a major part of the group's success. Losing both Flores and Jones will force the Vikings to look outside for leadership continuity, but the organization remains focused on retaining both. I hope so, dog. I hope so. Heavy. And matter of fact, hell, get KOC up out of there. I stand on that 10 toes down, bro. Period. Trade KOC, fire KOC, and bring B Flow in the building. That's the right move to make. That's the real move to make. Balancing growth and continuity. Flores' return to form as a defensive strategist has helped create opportunities for the coaches around him. His presence has also influenced Minnesota's approach to staffing, emphasizing internal development and clear communication over constant turnover. If either Flores or Jones departs, it will mark the natural consequence of success rather than instability. For now, the Vikings' offseason planning reflects confidence rather than uncertainty. Flores has continued to practice in internal meetings, and staff evaluations have proceeded as scheduled. The organization's focus remains on maintaining its defensive foundation while making necessary adjustments to the offensive structure. So according to this article, things are still moving the same, but we know things ain't moving the same, bro. Period. No cap. Even if Flo is still coming to the meetings, talking to the coaches, right? Conversing with players, maybe, baby, having relationships and open communication with KOC and Quasi. It doesn't matter. We know for a fact teams are interested. Brian Flores is interested in being a head coach. Now the situation has to be right. Yeah. But the Ravens, Raiders, now we know how much money they working with, how much Federale, Guapino, Linguini, Fettuccine they working with in the cap. It makes it all that much more interesting. So like I always say, baby, don't get caught up into the articles and these beat writers trying to make certain things sound good, right? Right. Heavy. The outlook for 2026. Minnesota's defense resurgence has positioned the team as one of the most disciplined units in the NFC. Flores and Jones represent both the foundation and the potential challenge of sustained success. Other teams have noticed, but the Vikings appear prepared to keep their core leadership together through a clear vision and organizational alignment. As one insider described the outlook, if Brian Flores is a defensive coordinator in 26, it's here in Minnesota, and which it should be, heavy. If he goes to a team just to be a DC, why the hell would he do that if he's in his right mind? That makes no sense at all, especially if they pay him buku money to keep the position, period. I'm sure if he leaves, it will be for a head coaching job, dog, period. The Vikings believe that statement reflects more than optimism. It reflects the structure they built and the priority they placed on stability. A lot going on, bro. A lot going on, bro. You hear me? Heavy. Shout out JL in the building, dog. Shout out JL in the building. He said, if we lose Flores, we are done. If we lose Flores, we are done. Oh, man. JL. Oh, man, JL. He says, if we lose Flores, we are done. I agree as far as defensively. Now, you can bring talent in. You can regroup, but how quickly do you bring that talent in? And I don't think it will be quick enough for next year. No. I don't think you can really build a full roster and fill the holes necessary in the secondary, at the safety position and cornerback position just this year. So it's going to be tough, man. Heavy. But JL, next season will be tough, man. You lose Flores. It's different automatically. Because not many coaches at all, do what he does with the lack of talent. That's the biggest thing here about Flo, right? That's what stands out the most about Brian Flores. What he does without the true personnel that he wants. Heavy. Shout out SKOL State of Mind. He says, my bad, bro. Flores actually has 4 Super Bowls, not 2. Damn, Flores got them rings and bling. Shout out SKOL State of Mind in the building, man. Heavy, man. Early. And he at work too, getting it in. Respect, dog. Respect. Yeah. Flores. So we like, you know, the question is like, at the end of the day, we all know, right? Flores wants to be a head coach again. That's his main goal, main objective. You know, how bad does he really want it though? Will he go to a team like the Raiders right now, who are bad if we're talking about personnel, but who have a lot of money to play with and work with? And you got to presume players would be more attracted to the Raiders with Brian Flores as the head coach, bro. Period. You also got Tom Brady in the building. Oh yeah, players gonna be definitely the Las Vegas, the whole Raiders scene. Players will definitely want to will be more enticed to play for Flores heavy, especially defensive players, man. Defense. Excuse me. Defensive minded players, though, and free agency, the top free agents picks. They definitely will be inclined to go play for the Raiders, man. Get McCoy, Vol Nation. That boy. I'll be right back, man. My dog Andre in the building, homie. Oh man. He said, "Get McVoy, Vol Nation." I know you would love that one, homie. Shout out my boy Andre in the building, real Tennessee fan, SKOL VIKES, Minnesota fan. We here, baby, heavy, man. No cap. Don't forget, we got a mock draft coming up. My mock draft coming up. Last segment of the live. Stay tuned. Rock and roll with Big SKOL, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell right. All that. Hey, what time is it, bro? Y'all know the game is tonight. Oh, 6:30. Oh, yeah, we good. We good. Who y'all got in the game tonight, man? Y'all watching the game? Let me know in the chat, bro. Y'all got Indiana or y'all got Oregon, bro? Let me know, bro. For real. Very interesting situation with Brian Flores. Let's see if they got some on YouTube, man. You know, see what's going on YouTube. What the analysts saying, man. What the people saying about Flo, homie. Yeah. See what's up, man. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we got any information, dog. Let's see, man. Hold on, man. Hold on. Let's see what's going on. Give me 1 second. Let's break it down, man. Hold up. Hold up. Shout out Realize in the building. Hold on. What's Rel Zizzy in the building? Shout out Rel Zizzy in the building. What an interesting name. Shout out. What up, big dog? Heavy. Need to make sure that O-line doesn't have people that suck starting all year. Big facts. Big facts, man. For real. Where the train at, man? Big facts, homie. Yeah. The O-line needs to be revamped. The O-line needs to be revamped. One more again, man. Oh, yeah. Shout out Rel Zizzy in the building, bro. For real. We know that is a fact. We know that is a major fact. The O-line Must be revamped. We got dudes like SKOL in the building. Will Fries, was he overpaid, huh? Yeah. Ryan Kelly, he's probably done for. His career is probably over if we're being realistic, right? I mean, you talk about 3 concussions in one season. How can you bounce back? You know, what the Vikings even allow him to play again? Donovan Jackson, promising rookie. Can he stay healthy a full season? We already know the situation with Darrisaw. Can he stay healthy a full season, right? Heavy. Brian O'Neill, is he on the decline? I repeat, is Brian O'Neill on the decline? So a lot of questions about this O-line, bro. No cap. A lot of questions going on about this O-line. You hear me? Yeah. Purple soda in the building, man. Purple soda in the building. What's going on, my family? I know we're worried about losing Flores, so am I. But I was worried when we lost Zimmer. Not so much as head coach, but as a defensive mind. And we made it through. Did we make it through? I mean, you know, do we got a first round playoff win? You hear me, dog? No cap. I mean, what's up? Who do we bring in before Flores? Ed Donatel and that weak ass Shell? You hear me? Of course. I mean, if Flores was to leave, you ain't got no choice to figure it out, right? That's part of the business. That's part of the game. The Vikings will have no choice to figure it out. You know? You hear me? You ain't got no other damn option, bro. You hear me, Purple Soda? That's the name of the game. But at the end of the day, let's not sit here and act like it will be easy to replace Flores. Heavy. Especially when we seen defensive coordinators in the building like Ed Donatel and that weak ass Shell. Huh? So I understand what you're saying. You got to regroup no matter what the situation is. You got to find a different DC no matter what the situation is. But let's not act like the Vikings won't be in a bad predicament if Flo leaves. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hey, especially you got the same talent or you don't, or if Kwesi missing the draft again. Oh, hell yeah. Defense will not look the same at all. I repeat, not at all. No cap. But I definitely understand where you coming from, Purple Soda. No cap, homie. You hear me? It may be hard at first, but we'll figure it out. Definitely. Now, do you think Kwesi can figure it out? Do you think Kevin O'Connell can figure it out? Huh? Brian Flores pretty much landed in their lap. Huh? Yeah, man. I mean, Kwesi can't even figure out a damn draft. You know? If you want JJ out there, make sure that line is straight. Hey, Rail Zizzy, if you want any quarterback out there, guess what? Make sure that line is straight, dog. For real. Not just McCarthy. I don't care who it is. Patrick Mahomes, Brady in his prime, Joe Burrow, whoever. You got to make sure that line is straight regardless of whoever, right? Aaron Rodgers, boom. The list goes on and on. I don't care who you are. You got to have protection as a quarterback. Now, of course, you gotta adjust, you gotta adapt, you gotta make things happen sometimes. It won't always be perfect. You will be under pressure, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, your O-line has to protect any quarterback, bro. You hear me? Heavy. That's just the name of the damn game. You know? For real. True, Ed just didn't adapt like KOC asked him to do. Ed, he was trash. He should have never been a coach ever. You know, they talking about what tree he come from and he been around Vangio and he this and he that. Man, stop the cap. Stop the press. For real, homie. Yeah. Bitch, yeah. The hell going on around here? The fuck going on around here? I don't trust Kwesi. Shit, me neither. Who do, man? You know, who do? Do we even trust him any longer with free agency? Let me chill. You know, let's not disrespect Kwesi 100%. He has brung some real good free agents up in here around yonder, right? Right. You got to give him credit for Van Ginkel. You got to give him credit for who Blake Cashman. Yeah, no cap. Jonathan Grenard. Boom. You can say Jonathan Allen, Hargrave, but they didn't meet the level of production that was expected. If you ask me, heavy. Hell no. I'm not comfortable with them being the starters coming in next year, especially not Hargrave being a starter. I want some young boys in there, some young bulls. Like I say, hit free agency again, you hit the draft again. But as we all know, can we trust Quasi in the draft? Forget the free agency, right, homie? Can Quasi put a good draft together, homie? Yeah. All that free agency acquisitions and this and that, we passed that, bro. We way past that. The question is for Quasi now, can he put together a good solid draft, man? Huh? And I'm talking, you got 10 picks. Can you hit on 5 of them, bro? 6 would be even better. You know, Quasi has been piss poor in the drafts. Yeah, man. That's just what it is. No cap. But the Wills will put pressure on him. Hope so. Holding wildin', dog. Holding wildin', man. Yeah, yeah, man. One more again, homie. Oh man, you know. Holden say I can draft better than Quasi. Hey, you might be able to, homie. You might be able to. See what's going on YouTube with this video right quick, man. See what the news is, what the buzz is from Adam Schefter. Hopefully this ain't just clickbait, you know? Let's get into it, man.
In the new year, 8 coaching vacancies, as Tommy Tran mentioned, in the first week of 2026. Mike McDaniel, the latest. Did you have the Dolphins joining this group? The Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel, who's been in charge of Miami for the past 4 years. However, he failed to make the playoffs in each of the past 2 seasons. The Dolphins currently have the longest postseason win drought in the NFL, dating back to 2000. With the Fins firing McDaniel, as mentioned, there are now 8 coaching openings across the NFL. That's a quarter of the league for you math folks out there. Of course, it was a tough decision. At least that's what Dolphins owner Stephen Ross has said. He released a statement that reads in part, quote, "After careful evaluation and extensive discussion since the season ended, I have made the decision that our organization is in need of comprehensive change. I informed Mike McDaniel this morning that he has been relieved of his duties as head coach. I love Mike, and I want to thank him for his hard work, commitment, and energy he brought to our organization. Mike is an incredibly creative football mind whose passion for the game and his players was evident."
Hey, chat, would y'all want Mike McDaniel as an OC? You hear me? Yeah. Would y'all want Mike McDaniel as an OC of the Minnesota Vikings? Do you think it would be possible and realistic? Hey, man, hey, I'll tell you this here, dog. No cap. I'm taking Mike McDaniel over play calling way quicker, way sooner, any time of the day, any night over KOC. But let me know in the chat, bro. How do you feel about Mike? How would you feel about old boy coming to Minnesota, being the offensive coordinator? Right? As we know, some people are just much better off being coordinators rather than head coach, just focusing on one part of the ball, one part of the team, rather than managing a whole team, right? So could Mike McDaniel be that guy? Do y'all think it's realistic? Is it even a slight chance that he could be the OC for the Minnesota Vikings? I say no, because I think KOC is too stubborn. He's stuck in his ego. Heavy. I think KOC is way too stubborn, right? And that man is stuck in his ego. We'll probably see KOC play calling next year for real. You know? But I would definitely take Mike McDaniel over KOC play calling plays anytime, anywhere, any day. For real. Heavy, bro. You hear me? Early.
every day. I wish him and his family the best moving forward. So the Dolphins are moving on from Mike McDaniel, and more on that coaching carousel. We've got our NFL insider, Jonathan Jones, joining us here.
Certainly the final out of the way, right? Really,
last 4 years.
Try and get to some
that we have ever seen.
Flow talk, man.
And all those things. We'll have the opportunity and command.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Heavy. Hold on.
Their process and their.
It's on the.
Certainly be the ultimate McDaniel.
With the most drip. Daniel down here in South Florida. If we talk about the guy who was before him, you mentioned it earlier, Brian Flores has become one of the hottest coaching candidates on the market after that Vikings defense has just gone to new heights. We know he's in line to interview for that open Baltimore job. What's the latest surrounding Flores and even the Ravens when it comes to their head coach?
Yeah, so he will have the opportunity to interview with the Baltimore Ravens in the coming days. Obviously, they're getting started on the.
So an interview will happen. That's bottom line. So an interview is going to happen with Brian Flores and the Baltimore Ravens. No evading it, nothing. It is scheduled, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, it's definitely going down, man. It's definitely going down. Don't play around in the boogie downtown. Hell yeah. So Flores is going to get an interview, period, no cap. So let's just let that settle in and sink in. You hear me? Heavy. Let's just let that settle in and sink in once again. I repeat, homie. Yeah.
Their process, and they're putting in for guys like Matt Nagy and Robert Saleh and Vance Joseph, and more names will be coming out. Jesse Minter is going to be a name to watch there. The Los Angeles Chargers defensive coordinator certainly could be an option there with the Baltimore Ravens. As it relates to Brian Flores, he's a guy who, of course, used to coach with the Miami Dolphins, went to Pittsburgh, went to Minnesota.
Hold on, man. Hold on, bro. Let's get to some of these comments, man. I think he gets lucky more than anything. And the names you mentioned, Flores asked for them, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't like Quasi knew what he was doing. Quasi hasn't proved nothing in the draft, homie. Shout out Purple Soda in the building, bro. For real. You hear me? No cap. Yeah. Quasi and KOC both have benefited for having Brian Flores as a coach. Period. Hands down, man down. They both have benefited heavy. Hell no, you know KOC stubborn, homie. You know KOC stubborn in his ways, Purple Soda. KOC is a ego-driven, egotistical at times motherfucker. No cap, bro. You hear me? Heavy. We know KOC, bro. Heavy. Even if Mike McDaniel would benefit this Vikings team and his offense, KOC still wouldn't hire that man. No way around it. Hell yeah, man. For real. We are cooked if he leaves. Heavy. Shout out my boy Big T, my big dog Big T in the building, man. Yeah. Yeah, huh? One more again, man. Bitch, yeah, huh? Can't believe nobody has been fired. How has the ST coordinator not been fired? How has the O-line coach not been fired? This soft-ass front office pisses me off. Come on, Big T. We got to hit that train again, man. Hold on. Big T coming in hot. Big T coming in ready and heavy, homie. Yeah. One more again, man. Yeah. The hell? I say one more again, man. Yeah. You know, period. How the hell have we not seen no changes yet, bro? But everybody want to come at McCarthy so hard. Everybody want to come at McCarthy so hard. Ben Lieber, big peanut, munchkin head ass bitch, want to come at McCarthy so hard. But like you say, Big T, we don't talk about the special teams coordinator, Matt Daniels, and how his special teams blew the game for us versus Chicago. We probably would be playing tomorrow night. Matter of fact, if they wouldn't have gave up that long return. We don't want to talk about the O-line coach being piss poor. For real, dog. No cap, huh? Yeah. You see what I'm saying, Big T? It's pick and choose, baby. Just like the world we live in, man. You hear me? Heavy. Everybody want to talk about McCarthy this, boom, McCarthy that, but they don't want to talk about the real problem and the real root of the problems that have been there way before McCarthy even came into the door. You know? Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Yeah. Rams fired their special teams coordinator in the middle of the season. Well, damn. Well, damn. Minnesota Vikings, nice maybe. Minnesota Vikings, nice maybe. Baby. Once again, bro, do you hear me? Once again, let's state the facts. Come on, man. Yeah. Come on, man. And let's not even bring up Ryan Grigson, his punk ass. Everywhere he went, been a catastrophe. I repeat, everywhere that man done been a damn catastrophe, right? No cap, bro. For real. Daniel should have been fired after that Bears game. Hell yeah. You mean to tell me you give up a 60-yard return and you could win the game when your rookie quarterback that everybody want to talk down about and make him the scapegoat and got a problem with him just because he is an ultimate competitor? Everybody want to speak on him and say this and say that. Oh, he's immature. He's not mature. Ben Lieber want to come out the woodworks and talk. But you never see Ben Lieber come out the woodworks and talk about KOC or talk about the O-line or talk about nothing else. Even Paul Allen want to talk. Even Paul Allen, oh, KOC is so protected. KOC, Quasi, boom. These coaches, right, are so protected, heavy. They ain't even come on to talk about Wes Phillips' so drunk and driving ass when he riding around the city looking for some titties. Huh? Yeah. When he riding around the city drunk and incoherent, looking for some titties to suck, huh? But everybody want to hop on Jordan Addison. Oh, release him, cut him, throw him in jail, throw him in jail. He's a thug, he's a criminal, all of the above. Shut the hell up, man. I'm starting to realize right now, Minnesota Vikings, you starting to realize who the Minnesota Vikings really is, bro, as an organization, at least with this new regime, etc. You know, and it's been that way for years. No one comes at the coaches. No one comes at certain players. Heavy. Come on, man. Stop the cap, bro. For real. Yeah. Cooper gotta go. Get whoever out of there. You shout out my boy Real ZZ in the building once again. Come on, man. Stop the cap, man. For real. Weak ass, punk ass O-line coach. You know? Weak ass, punk ass O-line coach. You hear me, huh? Yeah. Who he developing, man? Who he molding, man, into a great O-lineman, huh? Yeah. Come on, bro. Stop it, man. For real. Come on, bro. For real. Dude has how many hits in the draft? Naylor, Turner, and maybe JJ. 3 hits in only 4 years. Come on, man. And Jalen Naylor, they may not even be able to retain Naylor, right? Right. Crazy work, Big T. Crazy work, homie. You hear me?
Good defense there that, you know, obviously the team couldn't get the job done this past year. His contract is up in Minnesota, and so it's possible that he doesn't return to the Vikings even if he doesn't get a head coaching job. If he remains a defensive coordinator, a lot of people are looking at him potentially with the Dallas Cowboys. I think you can keep looking around, and he would be one of the hottest defensive coordinator candidates. Yeah, he could be a hot defensive coordinator candidate at a number of places, right? And so
I think if he simply remains a D coordinator, I don't see B-Flow leaving for a defensive coordinator position job, especially not no team like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are in a worse situation than the Vikings, right? Yeah. Now he could say we could talk about the Cowboys because of more exposure, you know, America's team. He'll be more in the spotlight. But at the end of the day, the only way I see him leaving is for a head coach position, bro. Period. And pretty much being a DC, the Minnesota Vikings can match or surpass any offer that any other team will offer him, dog, strictly for being a defensive coordinator. So if it's about DC or not, I don't think he will leave for a defensive coordinator position, but definitely, homie, definitely things are heat up and they will continue to heat up with this head coach carousel going on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hell to the yeah, bro. If it's a head coach position available, you can expect him to potentially take it if it makes the right decision. You know, heavy. The Ravens enticing. The Raiders, even now that I found out about their cap situation, shout out my boy SKOL State of Mind for dropping them facts on the show, coming up here saying how he feel and keeping it real. But the Raiders got 110 mil to play with in their cap, bro. I repeat, the Raiders got 110 mil to work with in their cap. So you a head coach there, boom. Players gonna want to play for him already on GP, and you got Tom Brady in the building, so they're gonna want to come there on GP. Heavy, homie. Yeah.
You look at the Washington Commanders, for example, but he will have a shot with Baltimore. You talk about someone who is a leader of men. You talk about somebody who demands respect and commands respect and authority. Someone who has been effusive in his praise of the quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And I don't think there's any question that Lamar Jackson will figure heavily into the next head coach in this search process for the Baltimore Ravens.
Him and Lamar Jackson definitely would mesh well. I guarantee they would mesh very well. The chemistry would be there, homie. And we know Brian Flores, he loves Lamar Jackson. Loves his style, huh? Loves his playing ways. Oh, yeah. Damn, bro, the Ravens. And the fact that he has officially landed an interview, oh, man. Like I said in my last live, right? The Vikings better get prepared, be prepared for real.
Because they have essentially chosen Lamar. Baltimore has. And so you better find the coach and find the coach with the plan that fits Lamar best. And so in this interview process, it will be very, very important for Brian Flores to talk about what he has learned on how he coaches the quarterback position, certainly after the years in Miami with Tua.
Yeah, a very, very big distinction there because the Tua Brian Flores situation.
And it's going to come down to that as well. Like, will a team believe that Flores is in a position or has matured more and he can really handle, you know, not being, let's say, not wanting a quarterback, so to say, per se, right? Or not wanting a quarterback in the building. But right now, that won't be a conundrum because he loves Lamar Jackson. You know, he would love to coach Lamar Jackson, period. So that whole Tua situation in Miami is really null and void for real, because the Brian Flores Lamar Jackson relationship, right, will be totally different. You know, coming in, Brian Flores believes in Lamar, right? He wants Lamar. Heavy. Yeah, if he didn't, he wouldn't even go in for the damn interview. So that whole dynamic that him and Tua had or didn't have, no. And like we know, Flores is probably a totally different coach now than he was then, bruh. Even on levels of maturity, growth, experience, etc., etc., etc. Being around Mike Tomlin, learning from Mike Tomlin, right? So he knows the game, looks at the game and the whole coaching position of it differently, right? I'm sure. Heavy.
Caught a lot of attention across the league there. So a great point from you, JJ. If we continue just following the cycle here, John Harbaugh, the one who left that job surprisingly in Baltimore. You mentioned the connection potentially down here in South Florida. We know Stephen Ross has that tie with the coach, excuse me. Tell me a little bit more about John Harbaugh. It feels like people are kind of shooing him into Miami, but obviously he's going to
take town with that maybe with the.
That's probably it for the Flores situation right there. Flores talk. But yeah, man, this Flores shit is very real. This Flores shit is very real. I repeat, you hear me, dog? No cap. Gotta be kidding me. How the hell do you keep him around? The Lions got 4 starters in that 2023 draft: Laporta, Gibbs, Campbell, and Branch. Man, crazy work, Big T.